So here's the thing. At some point, you stop being able to pretend, right? Pretending becomes very painful for you. You'll be sitting across from someone that you've known for years, right? It could be a family member or even an old friend. And you realize that there is nothing left to say. Nothing. There is nothing that you can say or even want to say. And it's not that you've run out of words. That's not it at all. In fact, that would actually be a lot easier. But the truth is, you have plenty of words. Plenty of them. You don't want to waste your breath on any of them because you know that they're not the words that the other person wants to hear. You might as well be speaking Klingon to them, is what I'm getting at. You've reached a point where you can't go back to who you were when you could have conversations with them. And everybody talks about waking up, having an awakening as this glorious thing. Just think about it. There are countless podcasts and all of these different self-improvement channels and red pill dudes that are all selling it, right? They're selling, see reality, get this incredible download and wake up and bam, you've made it. And yeah, they'll sell you on the good, but they don't disclose to you any of the bad and the ugly. They don't disclose to you the hard truth of knowing and carrying hard truths with you every single day. They don't tell you what it costs you when you actually do that, when you go through that. And that's what I want to talk about. Once you see what's really going on around you, when you can finally understand people and you see through the news and the culture and these scripts, you see the way that people, how they repeat things that they've never even questioned themselves and never even thought about. They just parrot what they're told. And yeah, some of this is good, right? Clarity helps, knowing these things and having this perspective, becoming John from They Live. It is the best thing that could have happened to you, but only if you know what you're signing up for. Because sooner or later, the bill comes due, and you're going to pay it one way or another. And it's best that you're not blindsided when it does. I myself wasn't so lucky. I found out the hard way. And if you know, you know. It's this pesky thing that just it keeps showing up everywhere you go. You can't escape it. It's like your shadow. You can fight it, but also fighting it creates a bigger problem for you. Reason being is that awakening is not a door that you can just walk back through. Once you see why propaganda functions the way that it does and why these institutions are structured in a particular way to protect themselves at the expense of the people that are inside them, why the social scripts were written to benefit the ones writing them and not the ones reciting them, you can't live like that anymore. You can't live like it doesn't exist. You can't unsee it. Once you know it, you can't unknow it. It's an etch-a-sketch that can't be undid, home skillet. It's like a shadow. It follows you wherever you go. It shows up when you can't be around certain people anymore and engage with them without feeling like you're living a lie. You feel claustrophobic in those environments. Right when you're trying to be a part of those old conversations again that you used to have, and now it feels just completely and utterly fake. You might as well be a Kardashian. That's the way that it feels. It's utterly painful to be a part of it. And yeah, you try to be friends with people that you used to feel so close to, and suddenly you don't feel that way anymore. about them. They feel like strangers to you now. Even your own family. It could be your family, it can be your close friends, anyone. Doesn't matter. And what you're finding out is that you're outgrowing these people. And it's usually a lot of people. If you think about it, there aren't that many of us out there. These awakened people. There's more. We're growing in numbers, but there's more of them than there are of us. There's far more sheeple out there. I don't know. But if you're far enough on this journey of awakening, then you know what I'm talking about. I'm not speaking Klingon to you. But what's happened is the reason for this is you've changed frequencies from the people around you. Your signal that you're putting out, it no longer matches with theirs. You might as well be two different species. You can still hear each other, but there's no connection there. You're talking past each other because you're no longer holding any common ground. And the sucky part is for a lot of you, is that you still have to keep showing up for these people. You have to keep going to these family reunions and these holiday events and somehow figure out how to endure it. Or even worse, you work in an office environment that you have to be around these mouth breathing drones 5 days a week for 8 hours a day. I know the pain that you're feeling. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I know how it feels to compress your thinking to fit in and let something demonstrably false go unchallenged because you don't want to create waves. You don't want to cause waves because there's just no ROI in that. And maybe you do at first. There were times where I would do that and then realize that it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. But that's the cost that these red pill dudes, they don't mention when they're selling awakening to you. A man's sense of his own reality, it gets cloudy when more of his hours they go toward performing a constructed version of himself rather than simply just being who he is. And staying in that arrangement, that environment long enough, it starts to really wear on you. And that's when you choose solitude. That's when you have a dark night of the soul. That's when you discover Carl Jung and his concept of individuation, right? Shadow work. And if you resonate with this, and you're in the thick of it right now, you're facing this gauntlet of painful normies, then if you're in that place, I implore you to choose solitude. I implore you to say no. And I understand that means eating alone. But man, dude, once you get there, once you integrate with your shadow, and you really get to know who you are. You really do. You get to know who you are. You get to know what really matters to you. And before long, it won't take long before that becomes your preference. And you build these filters for who you allow into your life. Then that cloudiness goes away. Things become more crystal clear when you're finally on that path and you can see things for what they are and not have to feel like you're performing or wearing masks and being in that tight spot. And I'm not saying that for any normie listening to this that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about becoming a hermit. That is not, that it gets conflated with that. That's not what this is. It's not about becoming a hermit. It's about not being afraid of being alone. It is okay to be alone. And I'm not speaking against connection with other individuals. I'm talking about having real connection, not this facade. I would rather have 1, 2, or 3 really close friends, even just one close friend, than have all of these acquaintances that I have to perform for. Dance, monkey dance. I don't want that. You don't want that. You want to invite people into your life that think like you, that are on the same frequency. You can now go out into the world when you choose to and really get a feel for who is on your frequency and who isn't. Your discernment will be sharpened. And you will be able to know and spot those people and find them. But unfortunately, what sucks is they're usually at home. Like me, I'm at home. That's where I spend a lot of time, is at my home. So do a lot of you that have gone through this process. But don't go back. Don't fight this. Don't fight it. Invite it. Right? Because society, it will tell you that something is wrong with you. There isn't. There's something wrong with society. Do not conform. But think of it this way. In closing, think of it this way. You're in a pool and you're surrounded by these people. You're surrounded by these people that are pointing at you and laughing. As if you have peed in the pool. As if you're standing there surrounded by your own piss. Okay? I know this is a little crude, but it really brings it home, okay? But in reality, only your portion of the pool is clear and piss-free. Theirs is surrounded by their own piss. But they can't even see it.